Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to NS9 Postgame Show, the hodgepodge of nothingness. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me by myself, Jim's watching a Louisville game. Tyler, I think, is watching a high school football game, whatever. But I was fortunate enough to watch the Pirates' victory today. The Pirates do defeat the St. Louis Cardinals 8-2. And man, was this an interesting game because it had everything. It had good pitching. It had terrible defense. It had hitting. It had O'Neal Cruz, home runs, triples everywhere. I mean, it was, like I said, it was an interesting game. And again, like the Pirates came out victorious. So I guess you could say it all started with Roansy Contreras making this start today. He looked good. He looked good as he always does. Roansy goes 5.1 innings, gives up just one earned run on 4 hits, 2 walks. The thing about him is he didn't have like a lot of swing and miss stuff. He only had 1 strikeout today. It was one of those like the Mitch Keller start, right? We talked about him having the 10 strikeouts and how he just looked filthy. And then like the second game, he pitched well. He didn't have his stuff with him, but got weak contact, got the big outs. And I feel like that was Roansy today. But ironically enough, too, like he had to really work because as I mentioned earlier, there was some really bad defense. And I feel like it was led by Jason DeLay for most of it, which again, like, this is a guy I've talked about. I've praised Jason DeLay for about as much as you could praise Jason DeLay, right? Like he's not a good player, but what he does well is he does things really good defensively. Like he doesn't hurt the team is what I say. He makes some hits here and there, which seemed to stand out, which again, he did go 1 for 4 today. Had a hit, which extended it, get O'Neal Cruz up there. But anyways, as mentioned, he had some passed balls go by. He didn't get a pop-up. He didn't get to a baseball out of the first ball. Like he was just making bad defensive plays all around, especially at the very beginning of the game. I think 2 base runners was, 2 stolen bases on him, which I mean, it is what it is. But again, like that's the one calling card for Jason DeLay is how well he is defensively. And I mean, the bat's not good, but it's whatever. Today, I mean, he hurt the team. Like this is the first time I could probably really say that he hurt the baseball club, and he did. And again, like with Roansy, those first 2 innings, he could have got out quite earlier than what he did. He still had to continue, right? That those innings stretched out to be longer than they needed to be, but he escaped them. So like shout out to Roansy for all the errors around him, you know, all the frustration that I'm sure builds up with, but he kept it together. He pitched effectively. In those 5.1 innings, he did have 96 pitches. So, and again, like that's not on him. It's not as if like he labored because it was really his fault. There was a lot of stuff around him that made him have the high pitch count. But to say about the high pitch count, right? I mean, hey, is a guy that you're watching innings. He doesn't have a whole lot under his belt, right? Previously, I know there's been injuries, you know, to relate to that as well. So that's like the big concern this year is like his usage, right? And that's what we talked about. Like we could understand O'Neal Cruz. It seemed as if him not getting the call from day one was clearly like manipulation reasons. Roansy, I could understand, and you know, and if so, he's probably have a break in the middle of the year, which he happen to have and such. So you can understand the quality of, or I'm sorry, the monitoring of innings and such with him. I do just want to say one thing. This isn't me any like dropping concern. This isn't anything other than something I took notice of. So I'm just putting it out there because again, with the innings that he's pitching currently, the velocity was down just a hair today. This is like the second start in a row it's been down. Again, not much. It was down 1.5 miles per hour for his league average. I think it was at 94.5 today, which has been hovering around 96. Last start, it was down a whole, 1 mile per hour. So again, there was a drop last start, another drop this start. It's not that he's looked bad in either start, but just something I'm monitoring right now. I want to see like what happens the next start. Is it down 2 miles an hour? Is he maybe starting to feel the effects of the usage? We'll find out. But again, just something I'm taking notice on. No alert, but something I'm watching and eyeing. But again, Rowansy comes out today, pitches very effectively, and maybe does more than enough to keep the Pirates into the game. They had the lead the whole entire time, basically. So to switch over from him, I just got to get like the talk is the offense today. And this is something that we've been talking about, the offense just being completely anemic for the most part. I mean, even though the pitching was bad, and we talked about the doubleheader, the pitching, how terrible it is. It's not like there's still great pitching on this team, but the offense has really struggled. Like at least there's been JT Brubaker giving quality innings. At least Mitch Keller's coming around. There is Rowansy. So like 3/5 of the rotation isn't terrible. But it seems like this offense is almost terrible game in and game out. Today was a different story. And again, this is the Cardinals first place team. This is a quality team. Michaelis coming in. It's not like he's a terrible pitcher by any means. And the Pirates explode. Pirates had 15 hits, 35 at-bats. The Pirates are batting .429. Like I tweeted out, a little premature, but the Pirates are batting .429 since Charles became king. So as I mentioned, like the curse is lifted. It's done. This is what needed to happen, and I apologize, and I'm sorry, but the Pirates, since Charles became king, they're 1-0. They're undefeated. They're batting .429 as a team. So there's that. There's that nugget. There's the analysis there. But anyways, no, again, like the Pirates, bats came alive, and they sure came alive towards the end of the game as well. Got to this bullpen. But multi-hit games by Cal Mitchell. Cal Mitchell had a 3-for-5 game. One hit the top of the wall. I think he thought it was a home run. It certainly wasn't. When I look at the replay, now I see why I hold out Lars Nootbaar for having a good defense. He played the ball well, but I guess I thought he got it in a lot quicker than anticipated because it was just a good defensive play. I think Cal Mitchell thought it was a home run and wanted to admire it a little more than needed, and that's why he didn't round to get the second enough. Should have been a double for Cal Mitchell. So again, as mentioned, he did have 3 singles. Could have been 2 singles and a double for him. But by any means, 3 big hits. Big day for him. He's really, really struggled this year with the bat. And again, like this brings his average up to 224, 609 OPS. Still nothing to scream about, but it was a big day for him. Other multi-hit games, Brian Reynolds continues to be a good baseball player. Hot take. He goes 2-for-5 today. I'll get that question later, Dave. And then Brian Hayes, he has a multi-hit game today. He goes 2-for-4. Back-to-back games, Hayes looked pretty good. Again, it's just 2 games. I'm not saying he's going to change and everything now. Like he's certainly struggled. He's really struggled as of late. As Jim and I talked, with doing what he's doing, he's basically a 3-war player. Like that's what we're talking about. He has had a bad bat this year, but his glove has been so elite that with this bad bat, he's a 3-war player. If his bat can just be league average, by all means, again, like he's got a 657 OPS. That's not good at all, especially like for your corner, like your third baseman. You probably want more offensive production. If he can get league average, I mean, this guy's a 4+ WAR player, like waiting to happen. And that's not expecting much. And the talent's there for him to do it. So it was a good outing by him. Again, 2 hits. You would like to maybe see him finish the season out, being productive in that sense. But yes, let's get to it. The talk again. O'Neal Cruz. O'Neal Cruz is just dominating right now. So once again, as I said, like we're just going to keep monitoring this. We've talked about we want to see Cruz in the top of the lineup. He's been batting leading off. So it's now 11 games in a row. And I feel we'll talk about this every day, every game, like what his slash line is at the leadoff. But another 3-hit night for him. So in the last 11 games, batting leadoff, 48 plate appearances. He's batting .347. He's got an on base of .375, and he's slugging .739. Now, coming in, he had, I think, a 189 weighted run created plus. I mean, this is clearly going to send him over 200. He is like, he's not just figuring it out. This is way past, by all means, this could just be a stretch, right? But what I'm getting at is this isn't just like, this stretch isn't just figuring out. He is obliterating the baseball. In those 16 hits, he's got, I want to make sure I get it right. Yeah. So he got 3 doubles, 3 triples, 3 home runs to go along with it. He's crushing the baseball. So today, let's pull up the exit velocity, guys. Who tops exit velocity on the day? It's O'Neill Cruz, his 117.7 mile an hour hit. Brian Hayes is number 2 with his single at 111.9. And then it's Cruz again. His 3 hits, top 4 in exit velocity of the game. 117.7 as mentioned, 109 and 108.5. Why does exit velocity matter? You see it. You see it. Good things happen. He needs to make contact to have an exit velocity outcome, right? Because you're just seeing like there's no light contact by O'Neill Cruz. Like when Ben Gamble, so I'll mention, so Ben Gamble did have a home run today. He led things off. He gave the Pirates the 1-0 lead to begin it. Hit it over in center field. It went 418 feet. It's 105 miles an hour. And like, good on Ben Gamble. Kudos. That was a good hit. Big moment. He got himself a home run. 105 is like, if O'Neill Cruz is up, you're kind of disappointed. It's like, oh, it's just 105 miles an hour. Like, that's where we're getting at. And like, that's the difference. That's what we're talking about. O'Neill Cruz hitting that single and getting past the first baseman today, which went for a hit because the Gold Glove Goldschmidt just couldn't handle it. It was just hit way too hard. And he couldn't handle the baseball. That's what got him hit. If that was like any normal player who probably hits it 90 miles an hour, 95 miles an hour, Goldschmidt probably gets it and now it's an out. You know, we talked about the difference between the home runs the other day when I think it was I forget who it was, Yelich maybe, or whoever hit the center field and it was a fly out, right? That's the difference between a fly out and a home run. That's why exit velocity matters. It matters. You hit the ball hard, just like if you throw the ball, if you throw the baseball hard, it's probably harder for people to hit the baseball, right? If you hit the baseball really hard, it's probably harder for guys to catch the baseball. So his 3 hits today, all exit velocities over 108 miles an hour, which is ridiculous. And again, that just seems like the norm. If it's not 110 or more, oh well, it's nothing really to get excited about for O'Neill Cruz. And that's like where he's at right now. So yes, O'Neill Cruz just keeping this scorching streak going on. And it's just something that just keep watching. Just all the people that are excited about O'Neill Cruz, it's literally why you're excited. This is it. You know the talent he has. It's screaming talent. You see the talent. When people say he could be the most talented baseball player in baseball, this is why. Now you're starting to see in this stretch how he actually can be a good baseball player. And this is why it's possible he could be a great baseball player. No, it is just a small stretch. It is 11 games. It's just 48 plate appearances. He's got to do this much longer than this to feel this is something that you can sustain. I mean, he's not going to sustain these numbers, but just being a very good baseball player who's figured it out. But we've been clamoring for him to get up there, have some actual lineup protection. And he's got that in Brian Reynolds now as a switch hitter. It doesn't matter if it's a lefty or righty. There's someone behind him that you can fear now. And pitchers got to pitch him a little bit differently. And again, today, there's another quality pitcher. It's not like, I mean, Jacob deGrom before, like, it's not as if he's just had this stretch of 11 games where he's faced some pathetic teams that don't have good pitching. He's doing this with good pitchers. And again, it's small sample. So let's ride this out. Let's see how it plays out for the end of the year. But it would be very good, and it's very hopeful that like this is that corner that we're seeing. We kept relating back to, you know, hey, what's Julio Rodriguez doing? Hey, his 150 plate appearances were this much and it wasn't that good, but like you see him starting to turn the corner, and now Julio Rodriguez is a stud, just a stud. Even like Bobby Witt Jr. coming along, like being very, very productive and good. These are 2+ WAR players, 3+ WAR players. This could be that turning corner for O'Neal Cruz. And if so, again, this is why everyone was excited. You had every reason to be excited. So that's that. I mean, I don't know. I want to talk about O'Neal Cruz for 2 more hours. We could just make this an O'Neal Cruz podcast, and I'd be happy with that. And to be honest, probably wouldn't be a terrible thing because usually there's not much more to talk about. But again, this night there is. So as mentioned, we talked about Gamble hitting the home run. So big hit by him. That was his lone home run, but he did have a walk today. Sawinski, he did get hit at the end of the game. Another strikeout. Again, he's still not looking the best. Just been a few games, all in all, since his recall. Still want to see him finish out the season. But yeah, just like all in all, the offense was there. But again, let's go back to this defense. The defense was terrible. And actually on both sides, it wasn't good defense at all. Also very, very bad base running. I'm sure we've all saw. We're talking about the Brian Reynolds, Rodolfo Castro mishap, the two blown on the bases. Where Reynolds rounds third, starts taking home, realizes he's not going to make there, runs back, gets hit in the back with a baseball, turns around, starts running back home, starts to get in like this semi-rundown, but it really wasn't a rundown at all because he was caught. But here's the thing I want to say. So Castro rounds second, starts taking off at third, finds out he's not going to make it to third. It was a terrible choice to go to third, starts running back to second, and after Reynolds gets out in his little rundown between third and home, they tag out, and it was actually Lars Newtbarg as well coming from right field. He's the one that tags out Rodolfo Castro at second. But, and you know what? Maybe I'm going to bring up this video here. So give me a second here as I do so. But if you look, and this isn't trying to give Rodolfo Castro an excuse or an out in this matter, because he has, and we've talked about this time and time again, he has made a lot of blunders just everywhere, whether it's on the base pass, just defensively, whatever it may be. So again, this isn't trying to give him an out, but if you do look, I'm going to pull the video now. It does appear as he's called to third. This wasn't like it was something he did on his own. This more or less was he was listening to the coach. So, okay. So I have it up now. So I'm going to play this. I think I'm going to play it. It's not playing. This great content, guys. Why won't this play? Oh, Lord. Here we go. All right. So here's Brian Reynolds. He's at third. He gets hit in the back. Now he takes off for home. And yeah, I mean, he's out. But let's take this back. You start seeing right here. Look who's sending Castro. Look who's sending Castro. So again, Castro's made plenty of errors, plenty of mistakes. But I'm not quite sure if I can put this one on Castro because it looks like he's being sent. He's being told to go to third. And he listens. He does what he's told. He goes to third. And as we see, what a terrible send. What are you doing? What are you doing? And how many times have we seen this year? Guys being sent that like had no reason to being sent. I mean, I think we all remember the Newman one early in the season where he was like 30 feet away and the ball was already at home, 40 feet away maybe. So, again, thank you, Alex Stumpf, for the video. But again, like, I'm not really sure if I can really put this on Castro, so I'm not. So I guess for the people listening to this or watching this right now, I kind of want you to take this away. I was going off on Castro and doing this. What are you doing again? But in seeing that, I'm like, sounds like he was just listening. He was just doing what he was told. So regardless, though, it was a bad play. And that's something the Pirates do quite a bit. So that's unfortunate. But yeah, so again, there was a lot of blunders, both sides. I mean, even like Arenado. I mean, we talked about Goldschmidt not handling. Arenado had a play he should have had. That was one of Cal Mitchell's hits today. And I think there was something else the Cardinals did. But anyways, regardless, there was a pass ball by the Cardinals as well, their catcher. But yeah, it was like a poor play defensively game on both sides. But again, the good thing though is the Pirates came out victorious. That's something that, I mean, typically if I were to tell you just simply that here's the things that Jason DeLay did, Rodolfo Castro got called out trying to take third in this situation. Like if I told you all the blunders the Pirates made, you would have thought it was 8-2 Cardinals. Somehow or another, the Pirates get the win. And this isn't what happens to the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're never on this side of it when there's these issues. So like kudos to the Pirates. And again, kudos to Roansy Contreras to keep it together with all the blunders that did happen early in the game, that all the extra pitches he had to go through in each inning to do so. And then I guess to get back to the bullpen a little bit, Manny Banuelos does come in today, pitches very effectively once again. When Roansy got only to record the 1 out in the 6th, Manny's the one that came in, finished it out. There were some base runners on, so nothing extra charged to Roansy because of Manny. Manny goes 1.2 innings in the 7th. He has a little bit of damage on the bases. Chase DeYoung comes in. It was a fly. It was a fly ball. Alfredo's couldn't get to it. Reynolds dived. Cal Mitchell, I felt like didn't back him up the best in that situation. But regardless, Cal Mitchell, it's going to be hit anyways. That was the one hit. I mean, Chase DeYoung was pitching. So it's charged with Manny Banuelos. But anyways, it wasn't like Chase DeYoung pitched terrible. He finished out the next inning. So he had 2 hits, 2 strikeouts. Chase DeYoung still looked good today. Chase DeYoung lowers his ERA to a 1.82. So again, like Chase DeYoung is doing 2022 Chase DeYoung things. Shuts down the Cardinals. And then Robert Stevenson comes down to shut out the rest of the game. So he pitches in the 9th. No base runners. He has a strikeout. Again, like we've seen Stevenson so far. It's been a mix in this short period of time. But again, this is a guy who has some intrigue just because of what he's had in the past, right? His time with the Reds, not so much this year with the Rockies, but his time with the Reds. And we all know that slider and how effective it was and such. So there's some intrigue. And at that point in time, I mean, the game was out of hand anyways, but he shuts down the Cardinals for the 9th inning. Game over. So kudos to the Pirates on this one. They do win it. They 51 wins now on the season. They're climbing the standings, baby. Yeah, still 5th place. But anyways, so yeah, Pirates victory. 8-2. It was a fun game. It was an interesting game, not a particularly well-played game. But so tomorrow the Pirates do face the Cardinals once again. So it's a 7:35 start. JT Brubaker takes the mound. He's got a 4.35 ERA on the season right now, going against Jack Flaherty, who has a 4.15, but just middle of innings. He's coming back. So it's going to be interesting. See what happens. JT Brubaker, again, with every start, it's career long for innings pitched in the season. And again, that was the big thing last year. Like, how's he going to hold up? So he's still pitching and looking pretty effective. Hopefully this next start tomorrow, he'll have a defense behind him again. So, or not again, I'm saying hopefully he will have a defense, because he just doesn't. Like, he has the worst luck, I feel like. Today's game was a typical JT Brubaker start, I feel. All those defensive errors that were made is a Brubaker start. So there it is. We'll talk to you again tomorrow after the game. So once again, if you're still watching, appreciate you guys. Go ahead and like, subscribe, leave us any comments. We'll be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.